Right. It is another discussion on Doctor Who. I have had a fair number of comments on some of the Doctor Who videos, so this is an idea for another one that I've had. And the topic the topic for discussion here is, why does Doctor Who have to be so darn complicated? The latest two-part story. There's been a two, no, there's come at the end of this season, the latest season. It's difficult to understand what's going on. There's this Susan Triad, who the doctor wonders whether it's his granddaughter with the regenerated face, and it turns out in the end it isn't. It turns out that it's a woman who's possessed by a god called Sotek, who was featured in a story from the Tom Baker era called Pyramids of Mars, and I'm going to put the final episode of that in the description. And in the final episode of that, the Doctor defeats the Sotek and thwarts his evil plans by doing something or other. I don't know what exactly, because and I don't understand exactly what's happened in the latest series, because apparently the Doctor travels in his TARDIS with a companion called Ruby Sunday, and Ruby Sunday's mother fits into the picture somewhere, because this god Sotek finds her to be beyond his comprehension for some reason or other. So they need to get this woman's DNA for some reason or other, so that they can thwart Sotek's evil plans, because Sotek is destroying the universe. That's all I can understand of it. I can't understand it in any greater detail than that. Sorry, I can't make head and tail of what's going on properly. What I've said is all that I can understand of it. And I don't know why they have to make Doctor Who so darn complicated that you can't understand what's going on for the life of you. And I've heard Lord of the Rings disguised as another. There's another thing about Doctor Who. I've heard the Lord of the Rings described as disguised occultism, and I think, to a certain extent, although Doctor Who isn't all that bad, it does feature occultism to a certain extent, and paganism, because in the Tom Baker, in the story from the Tom Baker era, from Pyramids of Mars, this Sotek is imprisoned by another god called Horus, and somebody has to open a door by making the eye of Sotek, the eye of Horus, making the sign of Horus, and this sign of Horus. Well, I'll tell you what the sign of Horus actually is. It's a signal used by the Illuminati. The Illuminati are a demonic organisation. A lot of pop singers are believed to be a member of the Illuminati. I'm going to mention a few names here. I don't want to get sued. To avoid getting sued, what I'm going to say, that these pop stars are believed to be members of the Illuminati, but I'm not saying here that they definitely are, but they are believed to be. And it's Katy Perry, Bono, Rihanna, and others. Some people think Kylie Minogue as well. Apparently they use all sorts of symbols in the music videos. In the song Yahweh by U2, there's this like pyramid symbol with an eye in the middle of a triangle, and that's That's the Eye of Horus. And I think there is definitely a certain amount of occultism in Doctor Who, because you got to think back to the John Pertwee era. There was a story called The Demons, featuring them. I don't know exactly what happened to the Demons because I've never watched it, but it does feature demons, and it also features the Master. The Master is a renegade Time Lord. I mean, there's nothing, but the Masters, the concept of the Master is a pretty innocent concept, but demons are not such an innocent concept. I've not watched the story because it features demons, and I don't. I think you need to stay clear of anything that features occultism or Satanism or you get from the Tom Baker area, you get the story called Image of the Fendal. I think that features occultism. It's got. I used to have the VHS video of it, but I think on the front cover of the video there was a pentagram, which I believe to be an occult symbol. There's in the video it mentions someone conjuring up the devil. Then from the Peter Davison era, you've got the Doctor's companion Tegan being possessed by the Mara in a couple of in a couple of stories, Kinder and Snake Dance, and it's demonic possession because the Mara is a Buddhist devil. After Peter Davison, you've got Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, then Doctor. There's one from the David Tennant era called the Satan Pit. That's pretty much the same sort of thing. I never watched that. Never watched it because there's some things I want to stay clear of. But I don't understand really why they have to make the story so complicated that. I've basically summarised the story, but that's about as far as I can summarise it. I can't understand exactly what's going on. I can't understand why they need this woman's DNA to defeat. Apparently, she's the most important being in the universe, yet she's the most ordinary. But she's the most important being in the universe because they need her DNA to defeat this Sutek, who's destroying the universe and making the entire universe disintegrate. But that's all that I can understand of it. I can't understand why they need this woman's DNA to defeat Sutek. It's all a bit above. I can't understand what's going on properly. But there's definitely a certain amount of occultism in Doctor Who. You do get a lot of it in science fiction, but it's not all like that. I think most of it's pretty harmless, but apart from those, Doctor Who and the Demons, an Image of the Fendal, and Kinder and Snake Dance and so forth. Those things are demonic. There's no two ways about it. But a lot of it's perfectly harmless. Time travel and aliens, they're just a bit of harmless fun, really.